Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Excel. In this module, I want to show you how you can add up lists and how you can do basic sums in Excel. So this is for people that are new to Excel. So what you can see on the screen is some tables I've created and some colored areas where I am going to show you how to do the various tasks. So the first thing I want to look at is adding up a list. So you can see I've got a list of figures here. Now I want to add that list up. Now the quickest way to do that is to use a function called AutoSum. Now there are many functions in Excel, but the AutoSum function is the one you use to add up lists, and it's as simple as this. You click where you want the answers to be, so that's on that orange coloured cell, and then on the ribbon on the Home tab on the right hand side you have the actual button that you need. It says there AutoSum, so you just click on that, and then the computer will select the list that it thinks you want to add up. If that is correct, which in this case it is, and you can see it saying it there, look, equals sum A1 to A7, A1 to A7 inclusive. It also says it up at the top here on the formula bar, equals sum A1 colon to A7. That's how you would type it if you didn't click the AutoSum button. That is what I want. That is correct. So I can click this little tick and it will give me the answer. Now, once you've done that, the answer is dynamic. So for example, if I change any of these numbers, when I press enter, you can see it recalculating underneath as I come down until eventually it just says 7, because that's what that list is. Now, as a quick check, you can highlight that list and look down on the bottom right hand side of the screen and you get these features. So this isn't actually a finished article. This is only going to show when you select a list. So it's saying sum 7, we know that's correct. And the maximum is 1, there's 7 of them, and the average is 1. So all that information is there for you anyhow. But if it's something you want to be used over and over, basically that's how you do it. Now if I leave that one there and look at this list of figures, so I want to show you now how you can just basically do sums. So these are simple sums in Excel. So I want to do plus, minus, times, and divide. So this is how you type it. So this isn't a function, this is you using Excel. Now you must always start with the equal sign, and then you click on the cell that you want. So I want C2 plus, so I'm doing a plus sign, D1, C1, sorry, not C2, C1 plus D1. Tick, and I get that answer. Now to check it, if I highlight those two, you get the same answer down the bottom there, 68. In the next one I want to do minus, so it's going to be equals C2, minus is a little dash, D2. Check it at the top, click the tick, 5. And then this is going to be times, so it's going to be equals C3. Times is a little asterisk on the keyboard, not the X, and then D3. Check that at the top, tick, 100. Next one is going to be divide, so it's going to be equals C4 divide by D4. Check it at the top, click the tick, 2. 10 goes into 20 twice. So that's how you do simple sums. Now back to a little table, back to a list. So that was how you add a list up with the sum function. Let's just build this up a little bit. So if you type Monday or MON or Monday and get this little black cross in the corner, you can actually fill that across so it puts the days of the week in for you. And then total. And I want to do that again on this one. I'll leave this one and come back to it. Let's put some figures in. So let's say we spend this sort of money on these items, and I'll just add 1 to each of these, so I can go equals that cell plus 1. Take that and then pull that down. So this is cheating a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And then what you can do is If I pull that across as a block, you can see it's just going up by 1. It's just repeating that formula all the way across. So I didn't have to type it out again. I'll just undo that. So undo was Control and Z. So little black cross, highlighted the group, little black cross, pull it over, and it just copies those formulas just to give me some different figures. Now to add this list up, again I get where I want the answers to be. I go and click on AutoSum. It grabs the list. I check it's got the correct list. Yes, it has. I tick the formula. Now I don't need to do that again and again and again, because Excel is intuitive enough to know that if you get this little black cross and pull it over, that you want to add up the next column along. So in this case, column I2 to I6. And it'll let me pull that all the way across, like so. And again, if you want to check, you highlight the list, 111, 111. So that's correct. Now to do a row, I'll click where I want the answer to be. I click on AutoSum. This time it's looking left. It's still picking up the correct range. So we can tick that. And I can pull that one down. Pull it down in line with this. So now it's saying the whole of these figures, if I highlight all of them, come to a total of 672. Down the bottom there it says 672, so we know that's correct. Now sometimes when you highlight a list or select the AutoSum feature, it doesn't get the correct list. So I'm just going to try and show you what you can do and not to be afraid of anything. So let's say if I click here, there's no figures around me, but I still want to add up that list. So I still want it to say 81 in that cell. When I click on AutoSum, the computer will grab the first figure it can see within range. In this case, it's grabbing the total, which I don't want. So what you have to do is not panic, don't click the cross and don't start again. You just highlight with this little white cross the area that you want to add up. So H2 to H6. Click the tick, you'll get the 81. So if I click over there, I click on AutoSum, it's shot up the screen. I don't want any of that, so I just ignore it. I don't click anywhere. Well, I can click somewhere. Now it's only looking at that cell, but I want, let's say I want Tuesday's figures. I highlight Tuesday's figures, I click the tick, so 86 goes over there. So you can have the answer anywhere you like. It's totally up to you. You don't have to have it underneath the column. Just do it one more time. Let's say I want Wednesday's figures, and then you tick. So you're just putting these in random places just for this demonstration. So quite often when you use the AutoSum feature or one of the others, I'm going to do the average one in a minute, it doesn't grab the correct list, and you'll see that right now with the average function. So let's get in this cell. This is where I want the average of these figures. Let's just highlight them. So the average according to this is 16.2. I want that to appear at the bottom and be there so I can look at that. Now after the sum function, the average function is probably the next most common function in Excel, and because of that it lives on a little drop down. In one place it lives on a little drop down arrow next to the sum button. Don't click the sum button, otherwise you'll do the sum. You have to drop this little arrow down and then you click on the average option. Now when you do that, it's done exactly the same as what the sum function did. It's jumped up the screen and selected what it thinks you want the average of. But unfortunately in this case it's selected the total as well. I don't want the total, so you now need to intervene. This needs to be H2 to H6, not 7. So you can either type it 6 up there and then tick it, or what I like to do is with this white cross, keep away from the edges because you get this little black cross which means move. I'll show you what that does in a second. This one allows you to select, like we just did earlier, what you want to add up or what you want to get the average of in this case, and then you can tick that. And you can do exactly the same as we did before. You can pull it across, all the way across, but I'll just stop it there. So 16.2 is correct. Now let's see what happens if I did pick up those edges instead of the white cross. So I'll get the average again. So I said, watch this. Now, some people will teach you that they've learnt themselves or taught themselves to use this feature, but I find it slightly more difficult. So you can actually do that and get the list you want from the bottom as well. See, I can't actually get the bottom on mine, so that's slightly annoying. But if you pick this list, it basically allows you to move the list, which is not what I want to do. And then you think you've put it back, so you then go for the white cross, and now you're not getting what you want at all because it's no longer active. So this has come up with 32. The average is 32, which is way higher than everything else, and yet these numbers are not massively different. Look, 91, 96. And the reason for that is if I click on it, it's looking at K2 to K7. It's picking up the total. So we know that's not correct. So we can either delete that and do it again, or you can click on this one, which we know is correct, pick up the little black cross and pull it over the top of that one, and then it comes up with 19.2. And just to double check, which you always should do in Excel, 19.2 down the bottom there. So we're happy with that. And then you can pull that one all the way across to the end. And if you want to check, you highlight those figures, 134.4. If I want to make this all of these figures into pounds, I can highlight the whole table and just click onto this formatting option, and everything will turn into pounds. You don't type the pound symbol in Excel or the dollar symbol if you're in the US. Now the last thing I want to do is I want you to imagine that this total row is on row 10,000. And you don't want to be scrolling down to row 10,000 to see the total figures. So what you can do in Excel, which is quite cool, is you can create a table at the top of your screen that links to this one. Now there's two ways of doing it. I could simply go equals and click on the total for Monday, which is that one, tick. I get the same figure, and then I can highlight that and pull it across to give me the days of the week, and I'll get exactly the same list as I've got here. Or to practice the AutoSum, if I just delete that one off, you can do the sum function and select the list if you can see it, or type the list. So I'm going to type it this time. Let's say it goes down to 600. You can see the computer picks that line up as soon as I do that. If I tick that, it still says the same information, except it's picking up these two, which is not correct. But let's assume that we haven't got this information here at all. Let's just delete this off for a second, and let's delete that off. So now 81, sum 81. So it's saying the same thing, but it is looking down the whole list. So if I add anything, so I'll put 20 to anything in that list, it's going to start picking it up. Now if I just do that again on Tuesday, so I click on the AutoSum option. Now it's jumped left. I don't want it to do that. I'm going to highlight Tuesday, but I'm going to edit it again by putting 600 in there and tick, and you get the same thing. Now obviously I don't need to do it like this. I can just pick the first one up that I've already edited and pull it across, and it will work for me. So any figure that I put in any of these columns, it will pick it up. You can see it changing there for Saturday at the top. So now every time you open this file, you just need to look at this, because that is picking up the totals. You don't even need this information at the bottom. And if you want the averages as well, you put the averages up there. So your summary table is always at the top of the screen. And that's how I do all my spreadsheets. So I've got some analysis at the top. As soon as I open it, I don't need to scroll down to the bottom. I have my screen split, so this bit just stays there, locked all the way at the top, and I'm a happy teddy bear. So that was a quick look at how to do the sum function, so how to add up a list, how to do basic sums, which was these ones, and then how to do the average function as well, and a little table here to show you how that all works. So hopefully that was of use to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time.